Good day, my viewers. Welcome to another edition of the topic, the family. And today, we'll be looking at domestic violence in the family. And the guest speaker we have in our midst is
Mr. Fuyama.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll look at the meaning of domestic violence, and we'll also be looking at the causes and the way forward. As a society, these have been a rampant. Today, we hear in the internet, on the news, that domestic violence. So, sir, what is domestic violence?
Okay. Domestic violence is a societal problem, not only within the family alone, but to the society in general. And the cost of it is upbringing of the children within the circle. And the
Mister, you hold on first.
Yeah.
Let's look at it. Now, you telling us that the domestic violence is a problem within the family and as a society in general. Now, before we look at the causes, can we also look at the types of domestic violence? Or we generalize everything?
Thank you very much. We can look at the various types of domestic violence. One of the most commonest one is idleness. Then the second one is upbringing of the children. Thirdly is improper caring for the children upbringing. Those are the main three causes of domestic violence.
Poverty and unemployment can also be one of the causes, right? Now, then the types, you said the upbringing of the child.
Yeah.
Then we also make mention of
idleness.
Now, sir, can we look at this meaning of these types as you just made mention of?
Okay. The upbringing of a child, like we mentioned before, in a family setting, the environment and the peers group where the child grows matters a lot, that will make the child to be a well-being in future. When the father, the parents in particular, live by good example, the children will copy the same way, so that when they grow up, they will follow that way. Like the scripture told us, say, bring up a child the way he will grow, so that at old age, he will not depart from it. So that has to do with the family setting. When the father is living by good example, the mother, they are doing the things that is right. By the time the children grow up, they will copy same, and they will be a better human being in the society and within the family.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, let's look at another causes of domestic violence in the family. Now, we said young parents.
Yeah.
How can you throw more light on this one, young parents? That is one of the causes of domestic violence in the home.
Yeah, the young parents is one of the causes. Young parents that have no experience in child bringing, taking care of the children, can cause a kind of domestic violence in the family. Why do I say so? Some people that are young, they don't have experience how to care for their children. They don't know what they're supposed to do at the right time to make the children relax and do the needful. They will go out of place if they are not controlled, because the young parents lack some experience, which they're supposed to have been teaching their children. They are not doing all those. So the children will get out of place. They will not be able to copy the ideal things that makes a family to be okay. So the violence will now develop.
Thank you very much, sir. Now also look at another causes of domestic violence in the home. Relationship retention behavior. How would that cause violence in the home?
It will cause, because when a father and mother is living together, they are not living in harmony. All the time they quarrel over little things. The father will start fighting the mother, and the children are there seeing what is happening. And the children will be copying, because when you set a good example, the children will follow your example as a parent. But when your children now find out that you are always there quarreling with their mother, there is no understanding, you are not bringing them up the way it's supposed to be, it's always quarreling, violent all the time, you are now exposing the children to a kind of hazard.
Yes.
So in future, they will be the same line of action.
Yes, from your explanation, you are telling us that it's more easier for children to copy from their parents. So there are some certain things you can do in presence of our children. My viewers, you have heard from him that it is very, very important as a family. There are some certain things we can do in the presence of the children. There are things that we cannot also do in the presence of the children. And that leads me to the other question. Alcoholism can also cause. How could alcoholism also cause this violence we are talking about in the family setting?
Thank you very much, my moderator. That alcohol has a very big negative effect in child upbringing. Like I, as a father, let me take my own case as a case study.
Okay.
I go out there, and when I'm coming back, I'm already drunk. Instead of going home to tell my wife, Madam, is the food ready? With a friendly look and the love I have, a good manners of approach. Instead of doing that, I just start quarreling with my wife. At this time, it's 6 o'clock, the food is not ready. I started using abusive words on her and all that. The influence of alcohol is already there. Things I'm supposed to do without the influence of alcohol, I'm doing it the negative way. And the children will be there observing us. They will be picturing the negative aspect of my behavior. Then by the time I now discover that my wife may end up to say, yeah, you've taken alcohol already. You are drunk. You are already putting that influence on the children to know that the effect of alcohol is to bring about lousiness, no control in the home, out of indiscipline.
Thank you very much. Another thing that we also look at is suspicions of infidelity. Now, how could that also cause domestic violence?
Most time it will cause, like a man that goes out, we talk about alcohol. As a man, a drunk after taking alcohol, the influence is there. Some people after taking alcohol, they want to go out with women. They want to make love outside, with forgetting that they have a wife at home. By the time they start going out of the marital vow of the family, that one man, one wife, you are not going out with prostitute and all that. The influence of alcohol and going out of the marital vow is no longer there. That will bring about domestic violence. By the time your wife comes to understand that you have a woman outside, he will no longer be happy with you and he will not be submissive. Then he can even come out to tell you one day that since you are doing those nonsense outside, if I do, don't blame me. So that can cause domestic violence.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, what about education? Do you think that education can also cause a domestic violence?
It will cause in the sense that when in child upbringing, when you have children, as an ideal father or ideal parents, you're supposed to give your children proper and adequate education. But on the case, you did not do these things. You allowed the children to be up there. They didn't go to school. They didn't learn any trade. Wow. In future, they will become a nuisance to the society. By the time you are trying to correct them, do it this way, they will tell you no. They will be doing the other way out because the education was not there. You didn't give them the proper education which is supposed to be their rights.
Thank you very much. Now, they also say that poverty and unemployment can also lead to this. Oh. Now, talking about poverty, now the kind of society we are today, hardly we see a family that will be able to meet up to the 3 square meals a day. And at that, as a woman who is under that condition, that husband was unable to cater for, what do you expect from such home?
In such a home, there's not going to be peace. They say an hungry man is an angry man. When the children are not well fed for, even the wife, you don't give her enough money to prepare the food for the children, the woman will always go annoyed. He will not be happy to see you because as a result of poverty, you are not able to cope. Moreover, some houses where the parents are not working, even they are working, they are receiving a toki. The money is not enough to take care of an ideal dish for the children to eat. And the food is not forthcoming as it's supposed to be. It must lead to domestic violence, whereby the wife will be all the time quarreling that we are not living to expectation. It's under your umbrella, is suffering. The children are not living where they cannot eat 3 square meals. Poverty can cause all these things.
Yeah, they say, talking about this unemployment, that sometimes because some husband or some family, they feel that if their wife are working, they want to make sure that they are the same in the home. Because of that, a husband who is the man, want to do everything possible to even to stop the wife not to work, even for job opportunity. And that process of stopping the wife, the job opportunity, what do you think might happen at that point of the time?
If a man, an ideal man, should be happy if the wife is working. Because if the wife is working, financially we'll be supporting the home in terms of let's do it this way, let's bring out money for these children education, do it for feeding purpose. But when you say you want to do it alone and you stop your wife from not going to a job, not working, and you, with the meager you are getting, the money you are getting, you cannot cope, and you are stopping that woman from not doing any job, the woman all the time, if you could not cope to bring out the requirement that will make the family be happy, the woman will always be angry with you. That's why you are the parents that stopped me from going to job. I could have been supporting this family. At least I could have been able to be feeding my children to a standard of a mother. But because of your way of life, you say I should not work. That is why all this menace is happening, because you can't do it alone. So that caused a lot of domestic violence in the house. When both parents, the husband and wife, they are not cooperating, they are not doing things, they are not saving towards one purse to keep the family going, can cause domestic violence.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's look at this again. Now, talking about this domestic violence. Now, we have physical domestic violence. Now, what are those types of physical abuses that the man or the woman can unleash on each other?
Okay, the physical violence that can come up sometimes, like we just talked about walking. Just now you said a woman should not walk, that you are going to do all. Fine. By the time this woman is not working and is not feeding well, and the children are not living well to expectation, by the time sometimes you call her for other engagement, or you want to discuss something concerning to the marital home, the woman will say no. Then you will not try to force it on her. The woman will start to resist it. In that process, you will start exchanging blows. You are not causing a physical violence in the family. And the children are there watching you, the ugly
side. You are causing a physical harm to the body of the woman. Thank you very much, sir. Let's look at, we have discussed so much today. Now let's look at all these things that we have made mention of. Now, how can we stop this domestic violence in the family?
Thank you very much. That's a very good one. The way to stop it, one, the parents have a very important part to play by training the children the way it's supposed to be, like we said before. And secondly, the government of the day, they have a very vital role to play to make education almost free at all levels, so that all children, less privileged and the rich, we have equal opportunity. If everybody go to school, and those that could not go to school, government now open a kind of entrepreneur where children will learn handwork, trade, where they can earn their livings as they grow old. Things of domestic violence or the societal violence will be reduced, because an idle person that have nothing doing is the devil workshop. When a man is not doing anything, they will be start thinking of evil to get an end miss.
Yes, thank you very much. Talking about education, they always say that information is power.
Yeah.
Now, when education is free, and I know that most persons will be exposed to know their rights as a wife, their rights as a man. So if any of these are being tampered with, cannot differentiate that this person is being abused or this person is abusing this person. So education in this aspect of domestic violence, it is very, very important. So we encourage every stakeholder that they should encourage education, especially among the girl child. Let education expose them so that they can know what and what can do. Because sometimes in the home, a wife will be in the home when he's being abused, because he doesn't have where to go to, he wants to remain, he wants to bear. But at the end of it, she can lead to death. But when a wife is being exposed to education, he cannot know that this person is being abused. And again, what I feel that government should do, they should make this legal personnel accessible to these abuse members of the society, so that at any time when they are abused, they have where to run to for their right to be protected. So, sir, I want to appreciate you for your time, and today we have really discussed extensively on this domestic violence in the family. My viewers, I want to appreciate you for your time. And sir, your last word.
Okay, thank you. Before we round it up this way, the domestic violence we are talking about, this modern internet is one of the main cause of it too. Because during our days when we were growing, we were not having access to internet. But these days, because of the access to internet, because of the millennium we find ourselves, you see children going above their scope. Some now going to duping people with the internet. The negative aspect of it, that is what they now have interest in. But the purpose of the internet is to give us a broad knowledge of what happened in the global. But children these days, they are now using it for looting, stealing, causing internet fraud and all that. Even watching some ugly films. When we were growing, we don't know what they talk about, romance, sex and all that. But these days, because of the internet, the children are exposed to see everything on the internet. They now abuse it. We suppose not.
Yes, to be. Thank you very much. Okay. You mention of sex, but we don't have much time to really look at it. And that sex it can also cause that
domestic violence.
As the scripture says that husband should what? Your body belongs to your wife,
husband.
And your
you
wife
cling to your husband, your wife.
And at the end of the day, when the wife is not really responding, when it comes to that, I think violence can also.
They are caused up.
So thank you very much, Mr. Iyama. Thank you for your coming. We hope to discuss this again in our next edition of the topic, the family. So my viewers, thank you very much for your time. And this is where we'll call it a day. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Have a nice time.